Hey guys, today I want to make a video about the difference between Lisk and Ethereum. The reason why I want to make this video is because you guys asked me to make a video about Lisk, and so I make one. And the reason why I want to make the difference between Lisk and Ethereum, it's because Lisk, when they launched, they were always comparing themselves to Ethereum. So it's only fair right now to compare Lisk to Ethereum. So let's dive into it. So Lisk is a application platform, just like Ethereum, right? So that's basically where the comparison stop, okay? Because everything else is totally different. So Lisk, when you create an apps with Lisk, you upload your apps on your server, right? Your own server, and people access Lisk to access your application on your server. So people cannot audit your app because it's closed, and every app are closed, so they cannot communicate with each other, right? Every app is from the ground up built like a single entity. With Ethereum, when you upload an app, you upload it straight on the blockchain, okay? And so every apps can talk to each other. They totally decentralized app, right? And then because they're on the blockchain, and you can audit the code. So you're sure that the application you're using do what it's supposed to do, because you can actually audit the code, right? So Ethereum is decentralized application and Lisk is just application. Another big difference is the language they use to write the code. Lisk use JavaScript and Ethereum use two brand new coding language, which are Serpent and Solidity. And they're, so when Lisk use JavaScript, Ethereum use those two new languages they created from the ground up. Now the reason why Ethereum used those languages is that when they started Ethereum, they look into JavaScript. They're like, do I want to use JavaScript to create Ethereum? And Vitalik Buterin finally the answer was no, right? Because there's too many shortcomings to using JavaScript. One of them is that there's a lot of bug that can happen by using JavaScript. So what he did is that he created a language that's quite very, very similar to JavaScript. One language very, very similar to Python, and then so developer can choose whichever they want. But he took out all the prompt code that could happen, and so when you use Solidity or Serpent and you create your application with it, you're sure that you won't have bugs in your software, right? With Lisk, because your code won't compile, right? So if you have a problem, your code just won't compile. You cannot have your application on the blockchain with a bug in it. Basically, with Lisk, it's not, right? All the problem of JavaScript is right there in the code. So developer needs to learn the 1001 things that they cannot use in their code, because if they use it in their code, they upload their application. Now their application have bugs inside of them, right? Because their code will compile, they'll be able to upload their application. But then when people will gonna come and run the application, down the line there's a bug. There's a bug. There's just so. That's a big problem. A lot of people said that learning Serpent or Serendipity is nothing compared to learning the 1001 things you cannot do with Lisk, right? So, and because it's so similar, those new languages are very similar to the new languages of Ethereum, so similar to JavaScript and Python, that a developer would be delighted to learn those languages instead of having to go around all the different things that they cannot do on Lisk. So, from a point of view of developer, sounds like Ethereum is much better if you want to have a solid code and solid application. So that's another reason. Another reason is the team, right? Again, Lisk, who created Lisk is Oliver and Max from the Crypti team. So Crypti was a cryptocurrency, and so Oliver and Max decided to get off Crypty, and they decided to fork Crypty actually, and so from the fork they created Lisk. And you know, that's about what we know about them. Ethereum, on the other hand, has been created by Vitalik Buterin, which you know, I believe is the new Einstein, the new blockchain Einstein. You know, I think it's the smartest guy in the blockchain industry as of today, and you know, is just pushing for the limit of the blockchain, and you know, I think that's why there's so much diversity and so many people flocking around Ethereum, is because they believe in Vitalik Buterin and they're ready to put their reputation at stake because they think that Vitalik Buterin will make the platform succeed, right? And so, you know, that's not a small feat, you know, and he was able to go and gather a team of very smart people too to help him. Obviously, he couldn't do it all by himself. He's got a team of engineers right now that help him build the platform. But you know, leadership in the Ethereum world is just, you know, top, and that's why, you know, you see all those people like the DAO. You know, yes, they had a little problem there, but Augur, you got a lot of project, Arcade City, and people are confident into investing time, money, because they believe that if Ethereum has problem in the future, Vitalik Buterin will be able to overcome those problems, right? And so, you know, that's not a small thing. I mean, that's pretty big. Bitcoins, they have the team, yes, but also they have the time, right? They've been around for 7 years, so people kind of know that it's going to be there tomorrow. With Ethereum, we don't know, because it's not been around for a long time. All we know is the team, and the team is solid. So that's why people go for it. So now Lisk is, you know, it's totally new. The platform is not launched yet, right? They're going to launch sometimes in the end of June or July. That's what they're looking at right now, the time frame. And, you know, the question is, are they going to be able to gather, to have people flock to their platform just like Ethereum did? And I don't think so. Why? Because, you know, Lisk, they tried to be too much of a copycat, but they didn't have like the big 10x, you know, the you call it exponential improvement, right? It was just like a little bit improvement, which is not really an improvement, but it's just like a little bit different, which is JavaScript, you know. I mean, so it's not like, wow, you know, nobody, like when they see it, it's like, wow, that's groundbreaking. No, like when people see Ethereum for the first time, they're like, holy shit, that's crazy, you know. But when people see Lisk, they're like, oh, what's the difference between Lisk and Ethereum? You know what I mean? This is like, well, the difference is that there's a couple. So that's why I think that Lisk might not make it past a few months, and why Ethereum will probably stick around for a couple years. And you know, that's why I didn't invest in Lisk, and that's why I invested in Ethereum, and that's why I think a lot of people invested in Ethereum, right? So those are basically the difference. You know, also obviously Ethereum already have a community of people, just like I said, that believe in the platform, and they're excited about it, and they talk about it. And you know, Lisk does also have a community, but obviously it's much smaller. And you know, Ethereum has, how you say, the first mover advantage. So I think that Lisk have a lot of ground to run, you know, to take, to be able to just equalize, you know, Ethereum. I don't think it's gonna happen. And so yeah, for those reasons, I think that you know, Ethereum is much stronger than Lisk. So guys, if you have any questions, leave any comment below. I'd be happy to talk with you guys. And remember to subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.